This video has captions, so if you'd like to watch in silence, you can too. Let's get started. So remember that sketching is just for you to understand the concept. They don't need to be neat or clean, they just need to get the general idea down. So if you have a messy sketch, as long as it's comprehensible, then you don't gotta worry about anything else. This part is actually pretty simple, but it can also be hard to some if you've never done it before. In order to start painting in grayscale, you need to understand values first. When you look at an artwork, any artwork, you'll notice light and dark areas. These are called values. For artists who know how to use values, the placement of these light and dark areas are intentional. When an artwork is balanced between light and dark values, the image feels clear and pleasant to look at. But when values are random or unbalanced, the image can feel messy or confusing. You could use values to bring attention to a specific spot, but if you use them wrong, you could bring attention to the wrong parts. So here is how I use values in my art. I divide the values into two basic parts, the light part and the dark part. In my artwork, I usually draw character illustrations and poorly drawn backgrounds. So obviously, I'd want the viewers to focus on the character, not the background. In order to do this, we make the background value either all light or all dark, and make the character value the opposite. That way, you bring attention to the character more than the background. This is the most important part. Before we get started with lighting, you need to know how to draw them first. I use this technique called lost and found edges to paint my lighting. You can find this technique mostly in traditional watercolor art or paintings in general. There are multiple edges in art: soft edge, hard edge, firm edge, and lost edges. I can't explain well where to place them, but I can show you how I usually do it. Hard, firm edges are used in areas where I want people to focus on. And lost, soft edges are used in areas where I don't want people to focus on. Don't follow this to a T though. In focal points, if you have only hard edges and no soft edges to balance it out, it would look too stiff. Too much soft edges will make it look messy and weird. So I suggest trying to balance it out. Now that you know how to actually draw using edges, here's how I draw lighting. There are multiple ways, but here's my number one technique. It's not the same as the one I mentioned in the short, but the results are pretty similar. Create a multiply layer clipping to the character layer. Use a dark color that's fitting to your environment and fill that entire layer. Adjust the opacity to about 50%. Higher or lower is up to you, just make sure the features of the character are still visible. Create a color dodge layer clipping to the same character layer. Use a light color and draw in the lighting using the lost and found technique I mentioned. And that's how I do the lighting part. Do not merge layers yet though, you still haven't added the colors. Okay, before we go into this, I'd like to say something. Destroy your entire perception of color, like how grass is green and the sky is blue. As long as the values look good, whatever color you choose won't matter. That's a good thing, because you can go crazy and experiment. I use gradient maps to establish the main base. This is what will determine the mood of the drawing. Highly saturated colors can look active, which is good for combat scenes, while lowly saturated colors can look airy, serene, and calm, which is also good for scenes where you just want the character to look pretty. Whichever one you choose, lean into that and make the most out of it. After the gradient maps are done, follow these steps. Create a normal clipping mask layer to the character. Add the local colors on the same layer or separate. Local colors are base colors of the character that are not influenced by a light, environment, or shadow. Do the same to the background. I usually just lower the opacity of the color so the under base layer shines through. Once you've merged the color layer to the base layer, turn off the light and shadow layer and start cleaning up. You can either clean up by redrawing the line art or start rendering until it looks good. And that's how I go from grayscale to color. Every artwork is different and requires different methods, so you do not have to follow this tutorial perfectly. I hope this helped you. See you next video. Bye!